So good morning once again, guys. Last time I requested you, or I asked you as an assignment to compute for the do the working paper for the statement of cash flows and formally construct the statement of cash flows. So as I said, guys, I'm not going to give you this solution. I'm not going to give you this file because I'll assume that you did this. We'll open the discussion today for questions for those of you who did the assignment. Okay, syempre guys, kung hindi nyo pa ginagawa, hindi kayo makakapagtanong kasi hindi nyo alam kung pareho yung ano eh. But I would like to encourage you to do it kasi lalabas talaga to sa ano natin, sa exams natin next week. So 100% guaranteed merong statement of cash flows. Okay. Okay, so I'll just present to you guys yung solution. If you have any questions, feel free to ask clarifications. So andito yung statement of cash flows. Andito yung metrics natin. Okay, I'll also explain this in a while. And then andito yung statement of retained earnings. Okay. So for statement of cash flows, we can do this. We can construct a statement of cash flows because we have for 2020, we have the income statement for 2020. We have the balance sheet for 2020 and also for 2019. So we can construct a statement of cash flows. And would like to investigate kung ano yung increase in cash, no? From 7,282 naging 14,000, so that's a 6,718 increase in cash. And we said that we have to classify operating, investing, financing yung mga accounts natin sa balance sheet, but we first start with the income statement, net income after tax and depreciation under operating. Okay, and then we go through the balance sheet. Sabi natin pag tumaas yung balance sheet account, then that's a use of cash. For example, short-term investment from 20 naging 71 siya. So this goes under financing, and since it increased, it's a use of cash. AR, ganun din, 632 to 878, so that's a use of cash, also inventories. Okay, for the liabilities and equity, okay, tumaas siya, so that's a source of cash. Accounts payable is operating. Notes payable, on the other hand, is financing. There was a decrease in notes payable, ibig sabihin nagbayad tayo ng notes payable, so that's a use of cash. Accruals tumaas, use of cash. All right, and then and then sa investing, guys, net fixed assets kasi yung binigay, so kailangan i-compute natin yung acquisition. In fact, dito, if we just use this, net fixed assets went down. So you might be thinking, source of cash yan kasi bumaba yung asset, which is not the case. Sabi natin, pag net fixed assets yung binibigay, kailangan i-compute natin yan, yung acquisition. And then you can make use of goal seek to find the acquisition. And it turns out here that acquisition is 17,050. So that's what the investing in fixed assets, that's what's reflected here, 17,050. Okay, and then yung financing, andito, one thing to note is that common stock increased from 460 to 1680. So that's that will be under financing. Ibig sabihin nag-issue ng new shares of stock. Okay, tapos tumaas siya, so that's a source of cash. Okay, dividends, guys, is 55,000. So you might think, bakit wala naman dividends dito? Hindi na-reflect dito. So kahit na hindi nakalagay dito yung dividends, guys, matitrace natin yan kasi sa balance sheet, makikita natin yung change in retained earnings. So yung change in retained earnings natin from 97 to 296 to 16. Okay, so ilan yung in-increase niya? If we get the difference of the two, so it's ang in-increase siya ay 198,854. Okay, pero saan ba nanggaling yung retained earnings na yan, additional to the retained earnings? Diba sabi natin nanggagaling sa net income yan, net income after tax. Ang net income after tax natin is 253,584. There. 253,584, no? Sorry, mali itong pagsulat ko dito. So this should be 253,584. And then 198,584 went to addition to retained earnings. Ito. Therefore, magkano yung napunta sa dividends? Kasi dalawa lang naman pagpupuntahan ito eh. Either distributed as dividends or flowed back to operations in the form of retained earnings. So 253,584 minus 198,584, you get 55,000. So that's your dividends. So yun ang nagay natin dito, dividends na 55,000. Okay, so sinabtotal natin. In fact, guys, sandali bago ako punta dyan, makikita natin dito yung sa statement of retained earnings. Started at 97,632. He added net income to 535,884. Ang total natin, 351, less dividends, so that you get 296,216, which is the ending. 296,216 is the ending, this one. So tama tayo. Okay, so tinotal natin guys yung, this is net cash used by operating, net cash used by investing, and net cash provided by financing. If you total this, 6,718, pareho dun sa 6,718. So we're okay. So tinuloy ko lang dito guys, you know how to do this. Yung 170, 17 at saka 194 naka-set aside dun sa isang column. You get the total, 6,718, add the cash balance beginning to get the cash balance ending. Okay, so that's your statement of cash flows. Pretty straightforward. Ang medyo siguro bago lang sa inyo dito yung hindi binigay yung dividends, but that can be computed since we know the changes in retained earnings dito. Okay? Clear so far? Paki-chat nga guys. Kung sana guys gawin nyo to ha. Kung hindi nyo pag ginawa, then find some time to do this. Kasi sabi ko nga definitely kasama to sa exams next week. And mas mahirap guys kung hindi pina-practice eh. So I was stuck there with the dividends. Okay, thank you Rian, no? Thank you for doing this. Tapos yeah, I was expecting na baka yung iba sa inyo na ginawa dito na stuck sa dividends. But sabi nga natin, walang mystery dito kasi kahit hindi binigay dito, matatrace natin dito yan sa retained earnings. Okay, Rian, I hope that clarifies your question. Okay, Rian, okay na ba? Okay, so clear na yung dividends natin, no? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Any other questions, guys? Kung walang questions, clear ba yung ano natin? Paki-chat naman please kung clear so far. Yan, thank you. Yan, salamat. Thank you. Okay. Okay, good. Wow, ang sarap mabasa yung mga mga clear, yung mga yes. Salamat guys ha. Thank you. Okay. Hindi ko na ma-mention yung mga pangalan nyo pero naka-record naman sa akin yan. Thank you so much. Okay, very good. Very good. Now let's go to the computation. Okay, o nga pala sa statement of retained earnings, okay? Straightforward din naman to. You start with the beginning and then i-add nyo yung net income to get the total and then ibawas yung dividends. Dapat pareho lang yung ending dito at saka yung ending sa balance sheet. Okay, then let's do this. Yung mga metrics natin, yung operating working capital, total operating capital, etc. So let's do this. So sabi natin guys, ang net operating working capital is simply your operating current assets minus your operating current liabilities. So if we take a look at our balance sheet, ang operating current assets natin are cash, AR, inventories. Kung merong prepayments, kasama yung prepayments, no? Ang hindi kasama yung short-term investment. So those are our operating current assets. Ang operating current liabilities natin are accounts payable and accruals. Hindi kasama si notes payable. Interest bearing to, no? So papasok yan sa financing. Okay. So formula lang natin, sum ng operating current assets minus sum ng operating current liabilities. I hope you have done this guys para kung sakali may questions kayo. But if not, again, I'd like to encourage you to work on that. And again guys, sabi ko nga kanina, hindi ko ibibigay yung file na to. Itong may Not because I'm stingy with it, but because I'd like you to do it on your own. Tapos, pwede naman kunan yung you can take a picture of that and then i-compare nyo yung answer. Tapos pag may question kayo, then I will entertain that. Kung kunyari, bakit sir, yung ano namin, coach, yung ganito yung TOC ko, pero yung TOC nyo, ito yung value. Pwedeng pa-explain kung bakit ganun. Yun ang gusto ko, guys, no? Hindi yung ibibigay ko lang sa inyo to, tapos andyan yung answer. That defeats the purpose of you practicing or also doing it on your own. Okay, sige. Sophia, mamaya na lang, ha? Okay. Alright. So, saan na tayo? Where am I? So, nasa, ano na tayo? Nasa, dito, no? So, kinapi lang natin to the right to. Okay, so you see that the company is increasing its working capital, which is good. No? Kasi yung working capital, yan ang ginagamit para mag-generate ng profit, para mag-churn ng profit. So kung hindi tayo nag-i-invest sa working capital, paano kikita yung company? Kasi andyan yung inventories, di ba? Andyan yung fixed assets. So without inventories, guys, ano ibebenta? No? Okay, so importante yung working capital. Yung TOC naman, guys, andito yung NOWC plus your net fixed assets. There. Net fixed assets natin ito. No? Okay, so we add the two. Okay, you get your total operating capital. So inad natin, kinapilan natin yung formula for 2019 and 2020. So you notice that nag-i-increase yung total operating capital natin. From here, guys, we're able to compute for the net investment. Now, wala tayong net investment in 2018 kasi wala tayong 2017. We're supposed to get the difference between TOC 2018 minus TOC 2017. Since we don't have that, then wala tayong figure dito. Pero meron tayo sa 2019, which is just the difference between TOC 2019 minus TOC 2018. Okay, ganun din sa sa 2020. So just the difference. So kita natin, guys, na mas malaki yung yung na-increase sa investment sa 2019 compared to 2020. All right. And then we go to NOPAT. NOPAT, sabi natin, iba siya sa net income after tax kasi sa NOPAT we don't subtract interest. Okay, and this is what we use in order to assess the performance of management. Unfair na i-charge natin yung interest sa operations. Okay, so how do we compute for this? The shortcut is EBIT times 1 minus tax rate. So dito, guys, nag-create ako ng tax rate. Sorry, hindi ko napansin to. No? So anyway, I gave this a name. If you notice the name box, guys, tax rate yung binigay ko ng pangalan. So my formula for NOPAT here will be, this is EBIT. C10 is EBIT. No? Let me go up there. And that's your EBIT times 1 minus tax rate. Okay, so times 1 minus tax rate, okay, which is this one. Itong FS ratios and exercise, yung pangalan ng worksheet natin. So tax rate, yan, 40%. Okay, so it's the same as getting just the 60% of your EBIT. So kinapi lang natin to the right. Okay, and then last time we said that we can say that NOPAT for 2020 is higher than highest compare in terms of 2018, 2019, 2020. Okay, kung i-compare natin to sa NOPAT ng isang company, hindi pa pwede. No? Kung 301 compared with 1 million, okay, pwede natin ma-compare from from an absolute perspective na mas malaki yung NOPAT ni company B kaysa kay company A. Pero in terms of mas maganda ba yung mas efficient ba si company B kaysa kay company A? Hindi, no? We have to use a ratio for that. And in fact, ROIC yung ginamit natin diyan. Okay, we go first to free cash flow before we go to, sinabi natin, ang end goal natin makompute itong tatlong to, no? Itong tatlong to. Okay, si ROIC, si MVA, at saka si EVA. Yun yung pinaka-goal talaga natin. So how do we compute for free cash flow? Sabi natin, free cash flow is cash flow available for distribution to investors after deducting cash flow requirements for operations. So it's NOPAT minus investment in TOC. Okay, kaya ang free cash flow lang natin guys for 2019 at saka 2020. Kasi although may NOPAT tayo for 2018, wala naman tayo net investment dito. Okay, so dito, it's NOPAT minus net investment. Ganun din dito. Okay, question guys. Negative free cash flow, does that mean na pangit yung free cash flow natin? Yes or no, please? Paki-chat, please. That's my question. Just like EBA guys, kapag negative, ibig sabihin value destruction yun. Ang free cash flow ba pag negative, that means pangit? That means not a good performance? Could you kindly chat, please? Yes, kung ano ba yung tanong ko? Does it mean that it's a pag negative ba? Does it mean that it's a bad performance? So pag yes ang sagot nyo guys, ibig sabihin bad performance. So kindly chat, okay? No, ibig sabihin Lexi, not ibig sabihin good performance. Do you mean yung ba ibig sabihin? Okay, si William din, Sophia, no. Okay, si Lexi, yes, okay, yes, si Lexi. Gianna, no. Kyrene, no. Lance, no. So Ivan, yes. Lexi, no. Okay, no. Alright, so medyo divided yung house, ano? Iba sa inyo sabi yes, iba sabi no, but I think majority is no. Okay, ang tanong natin guys, ganito. Ang ibig sabihin ba ng negative free cash flow na ito, negative 1108, does that mean that pangit yung performance ng ng firm? Okay, let's take a look at the formula. Okay, free cash flow is equal to the NOPAT minus investment in TOC. So the answer to that question is, it depends. Kasi may free cash flow na negative na pangit, may free cash flow na negative na maganda. Okay? So the answer there is, it depends on yung subtrahends natin. Okay, what do I mean by that? If negative free cash flow is attributable to a large increase in investment in TOC, then we say that that's good. Kahit na negative yung free cash flow natin, for as long as it's attributable to a huge increase in TOC, investment in TOC, then that's good. Kasi alam naman natin guys na ang TOC, it's the NOWC, operating working capital, at saka yung fixed assets natin. Pag nag-i-increase tayo ng investment natin, it means guys that there are potentials to churn profitability later on. Okay, kasi assets yan, di ba? Pag nag-i-increase tayo sa investments ng assets, then we can convert these assets into sales later on, no? Which is converted then into revenues, into profit pala. No? So okay yung free cash flow na negative if it's attributable to a huge increase in TOC. Like in 2019 guys, negative yung ano natin, negative 1.1 million. But it's largely due to a high investment in TOC. So in that instance guys, okay yung ano natin, okay yung free cash flow natin kahit negative siya. Kasi the company was instead of distributing it for example as dividends, ang ginagawa nila, pino-flow back muna nila kasi may mga magagandang business opportunities, no? Okay, so dito din sa sa 2020, see, although mataas yung NOPAT compared to 2019, yet relatively mataas din yung investment in TOC, no? So the negative 146 was a result of a high investment also in TOC. Now, kailan nagiging pangit yung FCF na na negative? If for instance, if your EBIT is negative, okay, tingnan natin dito let's suppose our EBIT, earnings before interest and taxes, is negative. Pag negative to guys, automatically yung NOPAT natin negative. Okay, because NOPAT is equal to EBIT times 1 minus tax rate. Pag negative na yung EBIT, negative na yung NOPAT. Pag negative yung NOPAT guys, negative yung free cash flow. So bakit negative yung free cash flow? Kasi negative yung NOPAT. Bakit negative yung NOPAT? Negative yung EBIT. Bakit negative yung EBIT? Mas malaki yung cost natin kaysa sa sales. Okay, so that means not a good performance, no? Not a good operating performance. Mas malaki pa yung operating cost kaysa sa sales. Hindi ano yun guys, hindi sustainable pag ganun yung ginagawa. So pag ang operating profit yung EBIT is negative, then you will have a negative NOPAT, you'll have a negative free cash flow, then that's a bad performance. Okay? Or kahit hindi negative, pag masyadong mababa guys yung NOPAT. Pag masyadong mababa yung NOPAT, then kahit anong amount yung investment in TOC natin, there's a potential that that will be negative. So that means that the negative free cash flow there is attributable to the low NOPAT or the negative NOPAT, which is not good. Okay? So yun ang ibig sabihin ng kapag negative yung free cash flow. Hindi automatic yan guys na negative, pangit yan, parang EVA. Ang EVA guys, pag negative, talagang value destruction yan. wala nang it depends yan guys. No? Unlike yung FCF. Pag negative si EVA, value destruction. Wala nang it depends on, hindi. Negative EVA, value destroyed. Negative FCF, why muna? Why? What's the cause of the negative? Is it because of the high investment in TOC? Then okay tayo. Is it because of the low NOPAT or the negative NOPAT? Then palpak tayo. No? All right. So, we now go to ROIC. Yung concept ng ROIC, guys, it's a ratio. And the use of ROIC, we can compare the efficiency or the profitability or the performance of companies using this ratio. Take note, ROIC is a ratio, guys, di ba? It's your NOPAT divided by your TOC beginning. So for 2019, D51 is your NOPAT divided by the TOC beginning, okay? And it turns out that our ROIC is 0.92. When do we say that the return is okay? We benchmark it to WACC na 10% in this case. 10% to. So, hindi man lang tayo nag 1% na ROIC. Ang WACC natin 10%. So, pangit yung value ng ROIC natin. Ibig sabihin, value was destroyed. When ROIC is less than WACC, then you have a value destruction there. In 2020, okay, so same formula, NOPAT divided by TOC beginning, okay? So 13.36 yung ROIC natin, greater than the WACC of 10%, then okay tayo, value was created. I hope that's clear to you guys, no? ROIC greater than WACC, value creation, ROIC less than WACC, value destruction. Okay, nang sabi natin si ROIC at saka si EVA, magpinsan yan. They're cousins. Okay? Ibig sabihin ng their cousins, kung ano yung value na binibigay ni kung value creation ang sinasabi ni ROIC, value creation din si EVA. So there are two ways to compute for EVA. Yung last time natin, ang ginamit lang natin NOPAT. I'm going to show you how to create it in another way where you get the same results using ROIC. So first, NOPAT muna, no? So sabi natin ang kwento nito, nag-generate tayo ng operating profit kaso pinagamit tayo ng TOC beginning, no? Pinagamit tayo ng capital. In 2019, ang beginning capital natin is 1.13 million, 1.14 million. Kaso guys, because of opportunity cost, hindi free yan. So we will have to charge management with the use of this capital at the WACC, at 10%. So 10% yung ginagamit natin na to compute for the capital charge, 10% nito. Okay? So ang tanong, sufficient ba yung natin, yung NOPAT para ma-cover yung capital charge? So let's compute for that. So this is NOPAT. Okay? Minus yung capital charge natin is beginning capital times 10%. Yan. Okay? So that's 113,860. Ang NOPAT natin 10,464 lang. So hindi tayo aabot, no? That's why value was destroyed. The difference between your NOPAT and your capital charge is 103,396. Ito yun. So EVA was negative because NOPAT was not above the capital charge. Kailangan guys yung NOPAT mas mataas pa dun sa capital charge. Okay? So for 2020, okay, the result was okay, no? Ang NOPAT natin 301, ang capital charge natin is 225,763. No? So that's the beginning capital, 2257 times 10%. So mas mataas yung natin, yung mas mataas yung EVA natin kaysa positive siya, no? So that means value was created. Okay. So that's the NOPAT way. No? Then we have the ROIC way. Si ROIC way naman, we also make use of TOC at saka yung WACC. Dito guys, gumamit din tayo ng TOC at saka WACC. So pareho tayong gumagamit dito ng total operating capital beginning at saka sa WACC. Ang kaiban lang dito sa using ROIC, as the name suggests, ang gagamitin natin ROIC. Dito ang gagamitin natin NOPAT. But the concept is the same, the result should be the same. So anong kwento nito, no? At the beginning of the year, binigyan tayo nung 2019, binigyan tayo ng total operating capital na 1138. Okay. Tapos, nag-generate ba tayo ng return yan? Yes. Ang return natin 0.92. Pero magkano ba dapat yung minimum return natin? Dapat 10%. Dapat yung return natin hindi bababa sa WACC, no? So, nineto natin yung ROIC na nakuha natin minus the WACC. Tapos, multiply natin sa capital. Parang ito yung pinondo, no? Tapos, ano yung interest na nakuha natin? Dapat ang minimum interest WACC. Ilan lang nakuha natin? 0.92. So, dito pa lang guys, makikita nyo na ROIC minus WACC is negative. Therefore, kahit i-multiply pa natin sa isang positive yan, negative yung kakalabasan. If take a look at this formula, this is, okay. Wala yung form. Dito na lang. Copy ko dito. So this is operating capital at the beginning, and then I multiply yung ROIC minus the WACC. Yan. Okay, we know that this will be negative kasi mas malaki si WACC kaysa sa ROIC. Yan, F9. So that's negative 0.09. So definitely guys, you'll have a negative EVA. Yan. And then if you have a negative EVA, sabi natin value was destroyed. For 2020, it's 13.36 compared to 10%, then okay tayo. So operating capital times ROIC minus WACC. Okay, this gives you 3.36% times your 2257,632. Okay, you get 75,821, which is positive, which is consistent with our ROIC. Okay, so there are two ways by which to compute for your EVA. One is via NOPAT, the other one is via TOC. In both instances, gagamitin natin via ROIC pala. In both instances, gagamitin si TOC at saka si WACC. Iba nga lang yung paggamit nila, no? So, sa first formula natin, we use the net of ROIC at saka WACC. Dito naman, we net NOPAT against the charge, the capital charge. Okay? So, be sure to know how to compute both methods. Okay. Any questions dito sa measures na to, guys? Any questions? ROIC, MBA, MBA pa pala, no? Sorry. MBA, guys, is simply, diba, yung market capitalization lang niya, which is the stock price times the number of shares, and then we net this against the book value of the equity. Noong 2019, ang equity natin is the, okay, so, dali ito, guys, medyo dapat may underline to. Tapos kung tutuusin, dapat may total debt pa sana dapat dito. Dapat may total debt pa. But anyway, guys, so ang total equity natin is for 2019, 460 plus retained earnings, so it's 557,632. Yun ang total equity natin. So, we compare MBA natin is simply the market capitalization, which is the stock price multiplied by the number of shares. This is the market value of the stock. And then i-minus natin, D35 is the book value of your equity. Okay? So positive, 42,368. Ibig sabihin, okay to. Okay, kung i-compare natin yung market capitalization ngayon at saka yung book value, mas mataas yung market cap. Which is good kasi ibig sabihin nun, may capital appreciation. Ito naman guys, ganun din to, no? So tumaas kasi yung stock price at 12 eh. Tapos nag-issue din ng number of shares kaya tataas talaga dito. Pero yung book value din natin dito tataas. So that's this times this minus 1977. Okay, so that's your market value added here. Okay, enter. So 1065. Ang laki ng tinaas sa market value noong 2020. That was because of the large increase in the stock price. All right, so those are the measures that we want to know, guys. Yung ROIC, MBA, EVA. No? Itong mga to, guys, makukompute lang natin kung alam natin yung NOPAT at saka yung TOC at saka net investment. Okay. Any questions with the measures? Any questions with the statement of cash flows, with the statement of retained earnings? Okay. Once again, guys, if you haven't done this, please, I'll not collect them. I know that it's good for you to practice para sa exams nyo, mas mabilis yung makukuha. Okay? All right. So clear so far, paki-chat naman please kung okay na. Clear so far yung lessons natin. Okay, thank you. All right, good. Okay, salamat. Salamat. I appreciate the feedback. Yan. Very good, very good. Okay, so I'm seeing so many now responding. Okay. Yan. Salamat, guys. Very good. Yes, I appreciate, guys, your feedback. So let's proceed, guys, to our, I'm going to use this. Okay, punta na tayo, guys, sa ano? Punta na tayo dito sa ratio analysis natin. Okay, so just one word before we go to a ratio analysis. Okay, sabi natin, guys, itong importante itong horizontal and vertical analysis because this is part of benchmarking. Okay, so again, when you prepare your common size statement, dapat guys pareho yung ano, no? Yung you format it in such a way that it's like the it's just like the balance sheet or the income statement. Okay, there. Okay, sabi natin, guys, yung common size statement, you just divide everything to sales for income statement and divide everything to total assets or total liabilities and equity sa balance sheet. So isang formula lang yan sa lahat ng years, no? Okay, and then here we have the horizontal analysis. So dito makukuha natin analysis year by year. Okay, and then we can compare, of course, yung progression niya. Ba't nawala dito yung ano? Okay, di ba guys, gumawa tayo ng ano? Gumawa tayo ng ano ba ako sa inyo, guys? Nag-spark lines ba tayo? Guys, paki-chat nga kasi ba't wala dito? Did we do spark lines last meeting? Guys, did we do spark lines last meeting? Ivan, yes ba yung sa question ko ngayon? Question again, guys. Nag-spark lines ba tayo last meeting? Or ngayon lang narinig yung spark lines? Hala, hindi ba? Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. So, okay. Sorry, guys. Oo nga, kasi wala dito eh. Dapat meron dito yun eh. Okay, so let me go here. Di ba dito in-analyze natin to last time, sabi natin si cost ratio 0.83 tapos 0.85 tapos 0.82. Makikita natin yung fluctuation nila. Of course, itong sales sa common size 1 lahat yan kasi everything is divided by sales of 1. Okay, so sa spark lines pwede natin i-plot, guys, yung rise and fall ng data natin. No? And how do we do this? You can click to where you want the spark line to go, insert, and then spark line. Dito sa spark line, merong line, column, win or loss. I'll just do the line. Okay, so data range natin, guys. So ito yung ano ko, no? Ito yung spark line ko. Location range, dito ko ilalagay yung spark line. Then okay, and then you can copy this down. Yan. Okay, so what do you have? You can see here a plot of the rise and the fall of the data. Now, pag click nyo anyone here, mag-a-appear itong design. Tapos, pwede nyo gawing column yan. Yan, column, no? Pwedeng win-loss. Okay, I leave you guys to. Pwede lang ibahin yung format, no? Pwede yung binabago yung kulay niyan. Okay. Okay, I'll stick to the line, guys. And then we can insert here the highest point and the lowest point. Okay. Pwede natin ibahin yung negative points, gawin natin hindi. Wag negative points, marker color. Yung low point, gawin natin pula. Yan. Okay. So we have here, guys, tingnan nyo to ha. Ano ibig sabihin nito? So yung cost ratio natin, 0.83, tapos 0.85, tapos 0.82. Yung may marker doon, yung dot dito, sa 2019, ibig sabihin, yan ang pinaka-highest sa 3 years natin. Itong red na to, ito yung pinaka-lowest. Okay, so in terms of cost ratio, pinakamaganda yung sa 2020 kasi pinaka-lowest siya. No? Okay, so this gives us some valuable visual information about the movement of our data. Yung net income natin, net income margin. Okay, so we can see here that yung red dot dito sa 2019, tsaka yung blue dot dito sa 2020, pinakamataas yung profit margin natin sa 2020, pinakamababa dun sa 2019. So something was really challenging the company in 2019. Okay? So you can explore, guys, yung spark lines, no? So pag hinighlight niyo yung may spark line, automatically yan lalabas yung design. So pwede niyo baguhin yung color, okay? Pwede niyo baguhin yung marker color, either yung negative points, high point, low point, etc. Okay? And then you can also change the style. No? Okay. Pwede rin baguhin yung style. So a lot of things that you can do this with. Okay? So pwede rin siyang yung bar or pwede yung explore nyo lang yung bar, yung column, at saka yung win-loss. There are some items na mas maganda bar, some items mas maganda sa some situations mas maganda yung win at saka loss. Okay. So sabi natin, ang problema natin, kung may mga negative tayo dito. Okay. Di ba last time, ginawa natin dito, nung hindi natin linagay yung abs, yung absolute value, lumalabas dito negative 366.55%. Okay, bakit yung new natin positive, yung old negative. So dapat positive yan kasi nag-increase eh. Sabi natin, di ba, negative yung percentage kung bumaba yung value. In this case, guys, between 2019 and 2020, di hamak na umakyat yung value, but negative to. So we have problems, guys, kung may negative, whether it's the old value or the new value. Nagkakaproblema. Kaya yung iba ang ginagawa, naglalagay ng abs dito. Okay? But actually, that doesn't resolve the problem. Kasi may papakita ako sa inyo, no? In a few minutes. So at least natanggal dito yung maling negative na percent. Okay? So we just have to be very careful kung may mga negative. Now, I'm going to show you this. Okay? Take a look at this. You have old, new. Natin old price to. Old, ito yung profit, no? Per unit. Ito naman yung naging new. So, dati old, nag-loss siya ng 10. Tapos ngayon, nag-gain na siya ng 50. In fact, pare-pareho na yung 50 dito, no? Okay? So, ang difference nito, 60. Yung in-increase niya. Ito naman, nanggaling sa negative 60. Tapos, naging 50, which means an increase in 110%. So, di ba sabi natin, pag negative yung old, dapat gagawin natin absolute yung formula. Absolute ng new over old minus 1 para tumama yung sign. Okay? So ito tama yung sign, no? Kasi nag-increase talaga siya, so that's why positive dapat. Kung hindi natin pinasok yung abs natin, ito, kung hindi natin pinasok yung abs na absolute value, mamamali yung sign, magiging negative to. Pero guys, there's something queer or conceptually wrong about this percentage change. Okay? Kasi tingnan nyo to, si coffee, ang tinaas niya, 60. si cakes ang tinaas niya 110. And yet, sa percentage change, no? Mas malaking percentage change ni coffee. Kahit 60 lang yung tinaas niya, ito si cakes ang tinaas niya 110. Ang percentage change lang nito 183, si coffee 600. So something's weird about this. And it's because we're working with negative yung old values natin. Yun nagiging problema pag negative. Aside from, pag hindi natin in-adjust yung abs dito, magiging negative yung answer niya. No? Okay? Tapos isa pa, something's weird about the percentage change. Kasi nga, ang problema natin, ito, ang linaki lang niya, 60, ito 110, and yet ito 183% lang yung percentage, ito 600. Okay, so that's the problem when we have this, when we have a negative values dun sa old value. Ganun din guys, kung may negative tayo sa new values, ito. New values naman to, positive yung, natin, yung old values. So dito, decrease to, decrease. From 50, naging negative 10. So ito, ang change niya, tama yung change natin dito. Okay, there was a 60 point decrease, ito 110 point decrease. So with that, tama naman itong natin, formula natin na C22 over B minus 1. Okay, pag negative guys yung new, okay lang kasi ang lalabas talaga negative na answer. Which is correct, no? From positive, naging negative siya. Dapat negative nga yung growth rate nito. However guys, again, tingnan natin to, no? Mathematically, tama tayo eh. Tama yung formula natin. New over old minus 1. However, because of these negative values, nagkakaroon ng problema sa konsepto. Kasi tingnan niyo to, ang change nito 60, ang percentage change negative 120. Ito ang change 110. Pero ang percentage niya mas maliit, negative 110. So we have here a conflict. Bakit? Parang may mali yata, parang hindi yata tama na mas maliit yung change niya, mas malaking percentage change niya. Okay, so that's the problem guys when we have negative values, whether it's in the new value or in the old value. Okay, so I'm going to post this sa canvas natin, and then tingnan nyo na lang guys yung So yung iba ang ginagawa, pag may mga negative values, hindi sila naglalagay ng value dito ng percentage change. Naglalagay lang sila ng either P, which means nag-increase, positive, or N, which means negative, or L, which means a loss, no? Bumaba. Okay, so I've seen in some of the company's financial statements, yung horizontal analysis. Okay, pag may negative, linalagyan lang nila either blank or a P, no? Ibig sabihin nag-increase or nag-decrease N. Okay, so hindi sila naglalagay ng ng values dito kasi nga medyo problematic yung pag-compute. Mathematically tama yung pag-compute, but yung negative values guys, it affects yung pag-compute natin ng percentage change. Walang problema kung parehong positive, no? That should not be a problem. Pero pag may negative, yun ang nagiging problema. Okay? Okay, clear yung guys, clear tong problema pag nagko-compute tayo ng percentage change and then there's a positive whether dun sa old value or new value. Okay. Na-skew yung guys, yung percentage change. Okay, so I'll just post this. Okay, so let's now go back to what we were working on. So we now go guys to financial ratio analysis. Okay, so let me hide first yung, para madali ako makapag-compute. I-hide ko itong ibang mga cells. Okay. Hide so that when I compute guys, andyan na kagad yung balance sheet at saka income statement. Yes, pwede maging both negative, no? Marion. Okay? So maglalagay din ako ng example na parehong negative. So ang question ni Marion, kunyari, from negative 10, kunyari EBIT yan, negative 10 to negative 20. Okay. Parehong negative yan, di ba? Pwede ba maging negative yung EBIT? Yes, guys. Ito, from negative 10 to negative 20, it means, guys, nag-decrease o nag-increase? Negative 10 yung EBIT. Ito yung old, 2019, for example. Ito yung new, 2020. So both have both have negative, negative values. No? So, paano gagawin natin dyan? So, if we use the formula, new divided by old minus 1, okay. Ano nangyari? Okay, so first guys, ang nangyari dito, ang nangyari is positive siya, no? Mali 'yan kasi nag-decrease lalo eh, di ba? Nag-decrease lalo from -10 to -20. Di ba, guys? So dapat i-adjust natin 'to. Dapat siguro lalagyan natin ng abs. No? So you have okay, so kung parehong negative. Okay, paano kung baliktad? -20 to -10. Okay, so dito guys, nag-increase yung ano natin, di ba? Nag-increase yung EBIT, although pareho silang negative. Nag-increase siya kasi dati -20, ngayon mas maliit na lang yung negative natin. So if I highlight this, okay. So that's so correct tayo dito, no? Kasi linagyan natin ng abs, no? So tama. Ay, wait. -10, mali ito, no? Wait. Wala, wait. -10 to -20, dapat ano siya? Dapat, wait, sorry. -20 divided by -10 minus 1. So this is wrong, guys, no? This is wrong. Kasi dapat nag-decrease eh. So, sorry hindi pala, you don't add the absolute, no? Kasi pag in-absolute mo yan, positive pa rin yan. So what you do actually is, pag ganyan, negative, okay? I think the solution there is to put a negative sign in front. Negative. Okay, there. Tama. Nag-decrease, no? Kasi from -10 to -20. And then we copy this. We put a negative sign in front. So ito okay na, no? That was a 50% increase. Increase nga siya kasi from -20 naging -10, nag-increase siya. Okay, so ano lang to guys, these are just some of the things that you need to be aware of. No? Pag may mga negative sa values, medyo hindi na natin pwedeng gamitin yung yung regular formula na new over old minus 1. We will have to adjust the formula. Okay, so thank you. Thank you for your answers, no? Ivan and Marion. All right, so going back guys to going back to the worksheet. Okay, so why are ratios important? Why are financial ratios important? Financial ratios are important because with financial ratios we are able to benchmark. Ano ba yung purpose guys na kung bakit tayo nagbe-benchmark? Kasi pag nagbe-benchmark tayo guys, we are able to analyze the performance of the firm relative to dalawa yon. Pag nagbe-benchmark tayo, okay, so this is important when we do ratio analysis. Kailangan mag-benchmark tayo. And then when we benchmark, guys, we benchmark against two things, no? T and C. Ano yung T? We discussed that T already. You're benchmarking against what? Ano yung T, guys? Ginawa natin sa taas yan. If I may, guys, if I go back here, ano yung ginagawa natin dito? 2018, 2019, 2020, tinitingnan natin, tapos kino-compare natin. So we're benchmarking against. Okay. All right. Thank you, Janry, no? Thank you, Kyrene. You're correct. We're benchmarking against time. Okay. So this is against time. Okay. Oops. Gumalaw. We're benchmarking against time, and not only time, but against what? Benchmarking against? Anyone? Saan tayo nagbe-benchmark? Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Marion. That's correct. No? We're benchmarking against competitors. So ang ibig sabihin yan, guys, when we study ratios, we don't study ratios in a vacuum. Hindi lang tinitingnan natin yung number per se, but we interpret that in relation to time and in relation to competitors. Parang yung example natin, di ba, yung NOPAT? Okay, let me briefly illustrate that. Sabi natin, guys, yung NOPAT, but we don't just interpret that value itself. No? Yung NOPAT, for example, sabi natin, if A, B, okay, so just to, sabi natin, ang NOPAT nito is 100, ito, 300. Can we then say that B performs better than A? No, not necessarily. All we can say is B has a higher NOPAT than A. It's higher by 200. Yun lang masasabi natin. So be careful in saying that B is outperforming A. Bakit? Kasi di ba, we need to look at ratios. No? Pag ratios kasi, doon tayo makakapag-benchmark, doon tayo makakapag-compare really. So sabi natin, magkano ba yung TOC nito? If the TOC of this, for example, is 500, then that means it was able to generate an ROIC of ilan to? 20 centavos over 1. Ibig sabihin, sa bawat piso na operating capital, nakapag-generate ng operating profit na 20 centavos. Okay? Ito naman, guys, sabihin natin ito, 10,000 yung operating capital niya. Okay. Kung 10,000 yan, guys, ibig sabihin, magkano yung 0.03 lang yan. Diba, guys? 3 over 100, that's 0.03. So 3 centavos lang ang operating profit na nag-generate per peso of operating capital. So si A, 20 centavos per peso of operating capital. So we can now say, guys, that A outperforms B. Not in absolute terms, but in terms of per capital. Okay? Kasi ito 500 lang yung operating capital niya, nakapag-generate siya ng operating profit na 100. Ito 10,000 yung operating capital niya, pero 300 lang yun. Okay, so sino mas nagiging efficient? Sino mas nakaka-perform ng mas maganda? Si A. Alright? So we benchmark. Okay, and again, guys, yung ROIC na to, ba't natin nasabi na mas okay si A? Kasi kino-compare natin kay B. Kung hindi natin kino-compare kay si A, kahit kanino, yun lang masasabi natin na A is generating 20.2 na ROIC. We cannot say it's doing good or bad, no? Unless we're comparing them against time. So pag sinabi natin, in 2019, ang ROIC niya 0.05. Ngayon 2020, 0.2. Then we can say that it performed better in 2020. There was a marked improvement as far as operating efficiency is concerned. Kasi noong 2019, 0.05 lang. Ngayon 2020, 0.2 na. So ngayon, may basis tayo ng comparison, may basis tayo ng pag-assess kung good or bad ba yung performance. Kasi we benchmark against time, and not only against time, but it should be against competitors. That's the reason why yung project nyo, guys, 3 years. Okay, para makapag-benchmark tayo over time. At saka, also, you need to get the competitors kasi we need to benchmark against the competitor. And reminder lang, guys, yung deadline nyo sa actually, hanggang 12 o'clock nga lang, di ba? So I'll check mamaya kung nakapag-post na kayo. Make sure you have posted your financial statements and start already the computation, no? Kasi nagsisimula na tayo. No? The earlier you get working on it, guys, the better. Kasi pangit, guys, kung mag-aan na kayo, kung magka-cram na kayo towards the end. Work on it now, and you can improve on it. You can really prepare good reports, no? With the tables, with the visuals, etc. Okay, so let's now compute for these ratios. So 5 yung ratios na to, no, guys? You have L, you have AM, you have DR, you have PR, and you have MD. So we're going to take a look at the performance of a firm based on these 5 types of ratios. So ano yung mga ratios na yun? Okay, number 1 is your liquidity. We have number one, we have liquidity ratio. Okay, ano yung liquidity, guys? Liquidity tells us the capability of the firm to pay its current obligations as they fall due. Kaya ba nilang bayaran yung mga ano na, yung short-term na mga utang, accounts payable, accruals, kung may notes payable na short-term, then is the company liquid? Is it able to pay its current obligations when they fall due? That's what we look at when we talk about liquidity. Tapos yung pangalawa, asset management ratios. Ano yung asset management ratios? Is the company efficient in as far as utilizing its assets is concerned? Yung ini-invest ba nila sa assets, whether it's working capital or fixed assets? Nag-churn ba yan ng profit? Okay, nakaka-generate ba yan ng profit? Nakaka-generate ba siya ng sales? If not, guys, ano yung gamit ng asset na yun? Okay, whether it's inventory, okay, is the company able to collect their receivables on time? Or baka palpak yung collection nila? Kaya ang tagal nila makollect, which affects their operations. Kasi hindi kaagad nakakabayad, it will affect liquidity, guys. Kung yung receivable sila, kung yung, kunyari, ang terms nila sa ibang company, 15 days lang. Pero yung mga receivable sila, 90 days. Paano yun? Diba? Magbabayad na tayo on the 15th day, tapos saka lang tayo magko-collect sa mga customers natin in 90 days. So there seems to be a mismatch. No? So makaka-affect ng liquidity yan, which is the company's capability to pay its current obligations as they fall due. And then asset management, guys, sabi natin how well it's utilizing its assets. And then here the PR is your profitability ratios. And then, siyempre, ang pinag-uusapan dito yung, nakalimutan ko yung isa. Isa is debt ratio. Okay, ito yung tinitingnan natin yung mix niya ng debt at saka equity. Okay, optimal ba yung debt ratio niya? Or masyado ba silang leverage? Kunyari, ang debt ratio niya 95%. Wala na tayong mauutangan dyan. Kasi masyadong nang risky and for the lender, no? Unless tataasan niyo yung premium or unless i-collateralize niya yan. Sabi niya, okay, papautangin namin kayo ng 10 million pero gawin yung collateral yung lupa niyo yung asset niyo sa sa Batangas, yung sa malapit sa Taal Lake, i-collateral niyo yan, no? Okay, utang kayo ng 10 billion kunyari, magkano yung land area? Magkano yung land? Okay, so yung ganun type, no, papautangin kasi may risky kasi, so either tataasan yung interest rate or tataasan yung interest rate tapos may collateral pa. Okay? So next is profitability ratios. Well, it measures kung nakakapag-generate ba ng profit yung company. And last is market value ratios. Oops. Market value. Okay, so this asks us, this computes for yung perception ng public sa market about the price of the stock. Kasi remember, guys, that the price of the stock in the stock market is influenced by the law of supply and demand. So kunyari, if the investors receive news na mukhang maganda yung cash flows itong company na to o maganda yung dividend policy nila. Okay, so in-acquire niya ang company na to, itong company na to, and that will generate more cash flows in the future. So those news will lead investors to invest in that company, which affects the market price of that company. Okay, kasi by virtue of the law of supply and demand. No? Okay, so these are the 5 ratios that we're going to look at. Okay, so bago tayo magsimula, now, dun sa ibang sections, hindi namin natapos to. Okay, we were not able to finish. So which begs the question, okay, since we will not be able to finish this, are you amenable to having your first long quiz next Thursday instead of next Tuesday? Kasi para tapusin natin to, yung discussion. Are you okay with that? Next Thursday yung ano natin. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'll wait for the others para maging majority tayo. About the rest, guys, mas okay ba sa inyo na next Thursday na lang? Okay. Alright? So siguro may majority na tayo. Thank you so much, guys, for answering. Okay, so then Thursday is it, guys. Thursday yung long quiz natin, including modules 1 and 2. So hanggang dito, hanggang sa discussion natin dito. Hanggang sa discussion natin next meeting. Okay, thank you. All right, so let's compute first, no? Sa experience namin kanina hanggang either row 122 lang or yung iba 123, yung iba 124. Pero wala lumampas sa 124, no? So let's try to target kung hanggang saan tayo aabot. Okay, current ratio, guys. Ano ibig sabihin ng current ratio? It measures the ability of the firm to pay its current obligations as they fall due, making use of its current assets. Kaya tinan niyo yung formula, current assets over current liabilities. So ito, guys, sorry, hindi industry yan, competitor to. Competitor, direct competitor yan. Yung value siya ng 2020. Okay, ano ibig sabihin ng 2.7 na current ratio? So it means, guys, take note ratio yan, ha? So technically, guys, may ano yan, may denominator. So as not to confuse, itong 2.7 na to, it's actually 2.7 over 1. So you can interpret this as for every peso of current liabilities, you have 2.7 pesos of current assets. Okay? So okay ba yon? Well, in terms of yung numerical, no? Yung numerical na value na current assets natin, 2.7 pesos. Tapos si current liability, 1 peso. So, okay, no? Okay, the company will be able to pay its current obligations as they fall due by virtue of this 2.7 current assets. However, guys, unfortunately, hindi lang tayo titigil dyan, no? So let's first compute the current assets of our company, which is, okay, asan ba yung ano natin? Asan yung current assets natin? Okay, ito. Total current assets divided by total current liabilities, which is this one. Okay. So that gives us our current ratio. Okay. So ano ibig sabihin yan? Si company natin, yung capability niya to pay current obligations was at the lowest at 2019. So mababa, 1.5 lang. Sa bawat piso ng current liability, meron tayong 1.5. However, still ano ko lang sparkline. Okay, design. I-align ko lang siya. Okay. So bumaba siya ng 2019 and then naka-recover naman ng 2.6. So over time, guys, nag-fluctuate yung capability ng firm to pay its current obligations. Ang pinaka-worst ng 2019. Na 2020, across the 3 years, na highest yung di ba? Kita yung dot dito. Highest si 2020 at 2.6. However, it pales in comparison with the competitor. Si competitor, 2.7 pesos ng current assets for every 1 peso of current liabilities. Okay, then, okay, however, guys, medyo delikado tayo pag current ratio lang titingnan natin. Bakit? Let's take a look at our current ratio, current assets. Okay. So in 2018, okay, we have cash, short-term investment, receivables, at saka inventories. Okay, ang pinaka-readily available lang dyan na magagamit natin para bayaran. Kunyari, guys, itong utang natin, current liabilities natin, due na bukas. Okay, so saan tayo huhugot ng pera? Cash natin 9,000, short-term investment 48 600. 57,000 lang yan. Total current liabilities natin 481. Okay? So since you have this one, okay, AR and inventories, mas matagal yan ma-convert into cash. Okay? So i-assume natin na assume natin na readily collectible na yung mako-collect na bukas, kunyari yung receivables. So if we take the sum of this, it's 408,800, no? Hindi pa rin sapat yung 481. Okay? So inventories pa yung natitira. However, guys, it depends on the nature of the business. So may mga company, guys, ang inventories, it takes them half a year to convert it into finished goods and then sell. Kalahating taon nila muna bago magawa, no? Paano na yun? Magjuju na tong 481,600 and quote-unquote, ang available cash lang natin, 408. Hindi pa nga tayo sigurado dun sa AR. Paano kung may mga bad debts na dyan? Paano kung may mga uncollectible accounts na dyan? So, well, delikado yun. Hindi tayo makakabayad. No? So, hindi lang natin tinitingnan yung current ratio. Yung current assets na to. Kasi medyo, we might get different wrong conclusions. No? Sabi nga natin, 1124 yung current assets natin. 481 lang yung current liabilities natin. So okay, kaya natin bumayad. Again, guys, you have to analyze further and look at the nature of your assets. Dito mukha itong tatlo lang yung readily convertible into cash. In fact, strictly speaking, kung matagal makolekto, no, ito lang. So 57,000 lang tayo. Diba? So that's a potential value there. Problem there. That's why, guys, we have another measure called the quick ratio. So mas mas stringent to, mas strict na measure, no? So this is your acid test. Acid test ratio. Okay, ano yung acid test ratio na yan? Ang difference sa current ratio is that ang numerator natin, yung kanina binanggit ko, it's cash, short-term investments or marketable securities, and then receivables. Hindi natin sinasama sa quick ratio si inventories at saka si prepayments. Yung dalawang yun. Okay? Kasi of all the current assets, yun ang pinakamahirap na convert into cash. So which we already got a while ago. Pero kunin lang natin yung value nun is equal to, so sum ng quick assets natin, it's your quick assets is our cash, okay? Short-term investment and AR. So yun yung tatlong yun. And then we divide this by your current liabilities. Okay, so the sum of your quick assets divided by your current liabilities. So what do we have? 0.8 lang, no? So medyo iba, guys, yung iba yung interpretation natin dito. Kasi dito okay tayo eh. Meron naman tayong sufficient na na pambayad ng ng utang natin, yung magiging due. Kasi 2.3 yung current assets natin eh. Okay? So loosely speaking, okay, correct yun based on current assets. But again, guys, you don't stop there. Is it possible to be not liquid? Yes, guys. By looking at the liquid assets talaga, which is cash, marketable securities, at saka dito sinama na nga natin yung receivables, no? For others na medyo matagal yung pag-collect nila ng receivables, it's better not to include that. So depende, guys, talaga sa nature ng assets natin. Lalo na nung 2019. Yung 2019, guys, pag naging due ang 1 peso, 50 lang yung pwede natin mabayaran. Okay? Ano magiging possible na scenario yan? Well, kailangan siguro natin mangutang pa ng short term para bayaran yung short term na utang natin. Parang ganun, nagiging cycle na. Ito 0.9, okay? Di hamak naman na tumaas, mas okay yung 2020 situation natin as far as liquidity is concerned. Pero it still pales in comparison to, talo pa rin siya ng competitor natin. Okay? So yung iba nga, guys, cash ratio ang ginagamit eh. Ibig sabihin, yung cash lang mismo divided by the current liabilities. Cash and then the marketable securities. Kasi pwede namang sabihin natin na easily convertible tong short-term investment into sa market kasi yan pwede madaling ibenta. No? Okay, so there will be takers for that. So in 1 week's time, siguro mako-convert na yan. Pero 57,000 lang to divided by yung 481. So pag cash ratio, okay, ilagay ko lang dito. Dito na lang. Equal to sum divided by tama ba ako? Okay. So ano ibig sabihin nito, guys? For every peso of accounts na dapat natin babayaran, 11 centavos lang or 12 centavos lang ang meron natin na cash para bayaran yon. Okay, so that could be a problem, guys. Liquidity problem yan kung hindi nakakabayad yung company because short in cash siya. Okay? I'm not saying you add a lot of cash kasi hindi rin maganda, guys, kung hindi naka-invest yung cash natin. Pag yung cash dapat may mini-maintain lang tayo na yan na balance, no? Okay, so let's go to asset management ratios. Okay, the first one we're going to look at is inventory turnover, ITO. And then si competitor natin may 6.1, no? 6.1 na inventory turnover. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng inventory turnover? So let me illustrate that first. What do you mean by ITO, inventory turnover? So let me draw here. Suppose this is the competitor's company. Ito yung competitor, no? Tapos ang ITO niya 6.1. So ano ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin nun, it's 6.1. Ang turnover, guys, it's always times. No? 6.1 times, 3 times, 5 times. No? So ano ibig sabihin yan? The company is able to conduct 6.1 times per year. Ano gagawin? Yung operation sila, buy raw material, convert to finished goods, and then sell. Okay? So ito yung process, buy raw materials, convert to finished goods, sell. So ibig sabihin si competitor, guys, 6.1 times a year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then may content 0.1. So 6.1 times na bili ng raw materials, convert to finished goods, sell. Bili na naman, convert to finished goods, sell. 6.1 times. So is this good or bad, yung 6.1 times yan? We cannot say, guys, kasi dapat nagbe-benchmark tayo. We can only say that the company is able to generate sales, okay, 6.1 times per year. Okay, paano natin masasabi kung good or bad yan? Babalik tayo dun sa benchmark. Benchmark against time. Last year, how much was inventory turnover? If it was 10, guys, then palpak yung operations ngayon kasi bumaba. Take note, guys, that the bigger the inventory turnover, the better it is. Kasi ibig sabihin, mas mabilis yung pag-churn ng sales. Ito 6.1 times lang. If its competitor has an ITO of 20, patay itong company na to na 6.1. Kasi kung 20 siya, di ba? 20 times na tina-turn over yung inventory. Buy raw materials, sell. Buy raw materials, convert to finished goods, sell. Again, buy raw materials, convert to finished goods, sell. Buy raw materials, convert to finished goods, sell. Yun ang cycle niya. And it's happening at 20 times, no? Kung yung isa 20 times. So the 20 times ITO will beat anytime the ITO of 6.1 times. Okay? So that's what we mean by inventory turnover, the number of times the company is able to buy raw materials, convert to finished goods, sell the item, the number of times a year that cycle happens. No? Okay. Compute muna natin. Ang ITO ng company natin is, so ang formula niyan, cost over average inventory. Now, cost of goods sold is a period item. No? Ibig sabihin, sa isang taon yan. Now, si inventory is a point-in-time item. Balance sheet siya. Ang income statement siya yung sales period yun, no, for the period. So, it will not be good if ang gagamitin lang natin, guys, is average inventory, either beginning or ending. So it's best to get the average of beginning and ending. In fact, kung may mga monthly data nga tayo, then mas maganda kung average monthly yung ginagamit, no? Okay, so dito, cost of goods sold. Here, cost of goods sold. Then divided by the average ng nino. Average ni inventory. So ito. So nagsimula tayo sa 2018, average daw, ang gagawin natin, average ni C22 at saka B22. Kasi ito yung beginning at saka ending. Unfortunately, guys, wala tayong beginning ng 2017. No? So technically, hindi natin makukuha yung average inventory ng 2018. But since wala naman tayo nun, okay lang na yung just the value of 2018. No? Now, pag ginawa natin average of 2018, yung 715,200 at saka ito, ang babasahin ni Excel, kasi text to babasahin niya, non-existent to. So, ang average ng 715 is just 715. And then, okay itong formula na to kasi we can copy it to 2019 and 2020. So, there will be no problem with that. No? Okay, so enter. Okay, yes. So, let's see. Yun. Yan. So this is now our ITO, inventory turnover for 2018, 2019, 2020. So nakita natin dito na nag-improve yung ITO natin noong 2019 pero bumagsak noong 2020. So i-compare natin ang competitor natin 6.1 times nagte-turnover ng inventory. Tayo 3.9 times lang. Okay? So problematic tayo nun. Okay, so let me just draw that. So yung company natin si XYZ, how is it performing? Ito. ITO niya, ITO is equal to 3.9. So, 1, 2, 3, at saka may 0.9 dito. No? So, 3.9 times. Okay, ibig sabihin, 3.9 times per year lang nag-turnover ng inventory. Buy raw materials, convert to finished goods, sell. So, yun. Then another one. Then, another one. And then 0.9 times pa. So, ibig sabihin guys, medyo mabagal yung proseso ng company na to. Imagine kung yung competitor nyo 6.1 times lang, tapos tayo 3.9 times lang, patay. And it will be no wonder why this company is really outperforming us. Kasi si inventory turnover, ang bagal. No? So, ano ba nagkukos nito? Well, marami, no? So, kailangan i-analyze to. So for example, kasi di ba turnover yan number of times. So nagsisimula yan sa acquisition ng raw material, sa pagkuha ng raw material. Okay, nagkakaproblema ba tayo sa pagkuha ng raw material? Okay, saan natin ito kinukuha? Kinukuha pa ba natin to sa isang malayong lugar? So yung transportation, tumatagal? Okay, sabi natin, baka kasi yung mga current suppliers natin, cornered na siya ng isang company, no? O pag gano'n, may problema tayo. Suppose yung supplier na yon nagkaroon na ng agreement with that other company na lahat ng inventory niya, doon niya lang ibebenta. Tapos, mahirap pa hanapin yung ganong klaseng supplies. Then, mahihirapan tayo. No? So, these things lang. No? Kunyari, baka matagal yung pagkuha natin, pag-purchase natin ng raw material, o kaya yung sa process natin na sa production, ang tagal ng ano natin kasi equipment natin, lumang-luma na. Hindi tayo nag-i-invest sa bagong equipment. Ang daming wastage, ang daming stop production kasi nasisira yung equipment. Bigla na lang nag-stop. So sira yung lahat na nasa production line. Okay? So these things. Tapos isa pa, ang hina ng marketing natin. Ang tagal makabenta. Okay? So that's why that's the reason why you have a very low inventory turnover. Okay, so punta tayo dito sa sa R2, guys. Ano naman yung R2? So it's sales over average AR. Okay, so compute muna natin to. It's equal to sales divided by average accounts receivable. So let's also do that. Average accounts receivable is here. This one plus this one, average none. Okay. Close, control enter. 9.8. And this one is 4.5. Okay, i-compute ko muna to guys then explain ko. Average payable turnover. Cost of goods sold over average accounts payable. So cost of goods sold divided by average. Average na accounts payable. So our accounts payable is here. Okay. This one, close. Okay. So quickly guys, let me analyze this. Arto natin, Arto. Anong ibig sabihin nito 9.8? Anong ibig sabihin ng 7, 4.5 versus 10.2? Ang ibig sabihin nito guys, again, pag turnover guys, number of times a year. 9 times 9. So noong 2018, 9.8 times tayo in a year na benta, collect. Receivable turnover to Nakabenta, collect. From selling to collection, ilang beses sa isang taon? 9.8 times noong 2018. Bumaba noong 2019, 7 times. Bumaba lalo noong 2020, 4.5 times lang. Nag-deteriorate lagi. Mas lalo. From 9.8, bumaba pa ng 4.5. Si competitor, 10.2 times. The higher the R2 guys, the better. Kasi ibig sabihin, mas mabilis yung natin, collection. Collect tayo ng collect. Mabilis, no? Mabilis. The implication of that is siguro mas mababa yung credit terms na binibigay natin. So mas mabilis yung collect o kaya very efficient yung collection department. Ang galing nila mag-collect, no? Ang galing mag-collect, ang galing mag-collect, ang galing mag-collect. Another implication is that quality yung mga customers natin, talagang they pay on time. Okay? So yun ang natin, R2. Well, 4.5 times tayo nangongolekta, ibig sabihin ang tagal natin makukolekta. Si competitor natin 10.2 times, no? So ito naman guys, si AP up to turnover, the lower the better to. Bakit? Kasi ito 19.7, ibig sabihin ilang beses tayo nagbabayad per year. Bili ng raw materials, bayad. Bili ng raw materials, bayad. Nag-deteriorate ng 2019, 21 times. Ibig sabihin to guys, ang konti lang ng natin ng terms, no? Ilang days lang bayad kaagad tayo. Ilang days bayad tayo. Talo tayo ni competitor natin, 15 times siya. Ibig sabihin, mas longer yung yung period niya. Okay guys, it's already time. May I have 2 minutes? Please, tapusin ko lang yung itong dalawang to. No? Okay lang ba? Do I have your permission? Okay lang guys? Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you. Quickly lang to guys, no? So ito guys, itong ITO, sabi natin, the bigger the better. Talo tayo nitong talo tayo ni competitor natin. May pinsan yan, ang pinsan niyan si DIO. Okay? Ano naman si DIO? Days Inventory Outstanding or AIP, average inventory period, no? Okay, sorry about that. Days Inventory Outstanding or average inventory period. Ano naman to? Pagka mag-aanak yung dalawang to and ang nito guys, ang formula, operating days over ITO. So ito, bigyan natin ng pangalan, operating days 365. Ibig sabihin, they're open 365 days a year. So kahit na may bagyo o may Christmas or okay? Example nito guys, mga hospital, no? So hospitals are, hindi nag-close ng Christmas ang mga hospital or other businesses, ganun din ginagawa nila. So it will be equal to offer days divided by ITO. Yan. Okay, ano ibig sabihin nito guys? Ang ibig sabihin nito, the number of days, yung average, itong ITO times, no? Ito naman days. Ilang days muna, bibili tayo ng raw material, convert into finished goods, sell. 95 days yung average nun. And then another 95 days, another 95 days. No wonder 3 times a year lang natin nangyayari yan. Samantalang guys, si competitor, 60 days. So sila nakabenta na, tayo, wala pa. Ando doon pa rin tayo sa either production period or ibebenta pa lang natin. So dito talong-talo na tayo guys. 60 days lang nabenta na nila. Okay, ito naman guys, si Arto at saka si ACP, day sales outstanding or average collection period, magpinsan to. Paano magpinsan? Yung isa times, ito naman days. So ano ibig sabihin nito? So offer days divided by Arto, this one, okay, 37. 15. Hala, ang laki ng problema natin. Anong 80? The number of days it takes us from sales to collection, 80 days. Patay. 37, 52, nag-deteriorate na yung collection natin. Competitor, 15 days. O, paano natin tatalunin yan, guys? In 15 days, from sales, nakolekta na nila. Tayo from sales, 80 days muna bago makolekta. Okay, and then lastly, this one, guys, ito. Ito naman si Apto at saka sa DPO, magkapinsan yan. Okay? So, ito. Paano magpinsan yan? So, this is equal to, para makita nyo. So, this is equal to offer days divided by Apto natin. Yan. Oh, sorry. Mali. Okay. So, ano to? 22 days. Bumili tayo ng raw material, binenta natin. 22 days, average. Competitor, bumili ng raw material, 90 days pa muna sila bago magbabayad. Okay, ang problema natin guys, within 22 days, magbabayad na tayo, pero kailan pa tayo makukolekta? Gagawa muna tayong bibili ng raw material, gagawa ng goods, ibebenta, tapos ikukolekta. 175 days muna guys bago natin makolekta yung cash. Okay, di ba? Kasi gawa muna, convert to finished goods, sell, 95 days yun. From sales to collection, 80 days, 175 days. 175 days natin muna bago makolekta yung sales. On the 22nd day, magbabayad na tayo. Saan ka kukuha ng pambayad? Mangungutang ka muna. That's the problem we have with this one. Okay? So next meeting guys, paki-solve na lang 'to iba, no? Okay? Sana gawin niyo 'yon para ang gagawin na lang natin, compare and then analyze. So mapapabilis tayo. With that guys, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your patience. Maraming salamat. So I hope you learned something today.